Back here for the semifinals of the 2017 NXL Chicago Open here in Gaelic Park. I'm Matty Marshall with Nick Sloviak and Ryan Greenspan. So the four teams that have made it on: Ironmen, Impact, Damage, and AC Dallas. So it's going to be the Ironmen versus Impact and Damage versus AC Dallas. So Nick, Ironmen, Impact, break this game down for me.
Well, we've been talking about how it's pretty historic for the Ironmen right now after 2 years of not making Sunday to finally do it. And I think, Ryan, you hit it perfectly when you talked about the predictability of that team going up against a seasoned finals team and winning team in Edmonton Impact. You can say easily the winningest team the last few years, as opposed to San Diego Dynasty is the winningest team of all time. But it's going to be up to Todd to get his guys to, and we've been hearing this every time we cut to the pit. Do your job. Don't deviate from the job, the task that I'm giving to you. And Ryan, again, you also hit on that earlier, saying that it might be a boring job, but you have to do that job to help your team succeed, especially the way this wall's been playing and the way Impact, you having played them this morning, has double filled that spot to get those victories. And it's going to be a matter of if Impact can shut down the number one playing player here at the event, and Greg Sewers for the Ironmen. Yeah, Greg Sewers is just demolishing people here on a Dorito side that is pretty difficult. I mean, this field is not easy to play. There's huge gaps. We call them the gaps of depth over here on the D side. The diamond's really tough to get into. Can you contribute from all those spots? Absolutely. But it seems like, and Ryan, as the event has progressed on, the battle is really going down in that center of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think ever since the W was implemented into the game here, it's always been a heads-up match there. Someone's they just go in there and crash out. But right now, I think what's happening is it's getting the second body in there. And then the Russians, you saw, put 3 guys in there. And I think that the Outlaws were doing that. A couple other teams have put like a third body in there, which traditionally leaves you very weak on the outside. So you got to play no-mistake paintball on those outside players if you're going to keep filtering bodies up.
And it adds the difficulty level for the guys playing outside. I mean, you had to play that spot, Nick. You obviously, in the prelims, you were playing in those spots too. But it adds that difficult level for those outside guys, because guys are getting shot in gunfights too, and then you could be just you on an island. And a lot of it seems to me, and you guys tell me what you think, but because we're seeing these long points, we're seeing close points now that these incredibly evenly matched teams were in the semifinals, it's going to be down to who makes the least amount of mistakes when it comes down to those 3-on-2 situations, those 4-on-3 situations. Because it almost seems like now with everyone just trading out in the center, that almost every single point seems to come down to 4-on-4 or 4-on-3 really quickly.
Right.
And then we get that longer set.
Yeah, and that's when it is the longer sets, is when it's a 4-on-3, and that comes from the second body in the wall going in there or getting the first kill off the break and playing, 5-on-4 and then bunkering out that wall. And then you get that 4-on-3, and then you have the opportunities.
Well, let's talk real quick here. Tampa Bay Damage and AC Dallas. Who do you think is stepping up right here, Ryan, for Tampa Bay Damage? How have they got themselves into the semifinals now, 2 events in a row, and they made it to the finals at the last event and defeating the team that beat them in the finals in Russian Legion to get here? Who's playing well for Damage?
The Damage guys are playing, you saw in that last game, Chad Bougier, who's actually playing in the center the majority of the times. He filled out to this Dorito side, and he was the rock. Jacob Edwards is kind of struggling a little bit on the Dorito side. He's getting shot, and he gets really frustrated doing that. So Jason's left to kind of pick up the pieces over here. But I saw Chad. The reason they're in this event, in this match right now, is because of Chad pulling out, shooting those 3, getting that 3-pack on the outside, filling this Dorito corner, and just locking it down and holding the game.
I thought Jacob played excellent yesterday. So if they can get Chad to play solid in that center, and also be that stopgap measure in case they do lose Jacob, but have Jacob play like he played yesterday, they're going to be tough to stop. Now, Nick, run me through AC Dallas real quick.
Again, the story with AC Dallas all tournament long is just that slow, methodical game. When they've had to, especially in their game against Infamous, in a game that was all but guaranteed to Infamous, they came back, they won a really quick point, and then took them in the victory in overtime. John Jackson and Matt Jackson are the anchors for that team. Matt Jackson, when he has to, we saw him turn it up and make a great move yesterday afternoon, run down the field, get himself at least 2 or 3 kills on that snake side when the opportunity presented itself. But John's done a good job of shooting from that back center and making his way up to the center tower and filling out where need be. Brad McCurley, with the combination of him and TJ Danner, has been fantastic. Danner probably right there with Brad for MVP for how this squad has been performing. He's pulled off some solid points just as Brad has. And then Ryan Hall is just doing his job up there at the wall, going up there, holding that side, and getting a kill. The one thing that AC is not doing, as Ryan touched on with the other teams, is sending a second body up there fairly quickly to refill that wall. They're more traditionally going to just press the outsides and refill what they have to.
Well,
yeah, and I just real quick, I want to give my hats off to Brad McCurley. I mean, he spent 16 weeks on crutches, and it looks like he hasn't missed a beat out there. Mm-hmm. And also, there are the prizes for my fan wagon. You see that $1,000 for first place and that VIP Vanquish GT for second, and the season prize, a Lux Ice, as well as, if you want to just get in there and try it out, the EVS goggle systems for first place for the free section. So here we go. AC Dallas, Tampa Bay Damage. We're in the semifinals, 16 minutes on that clock to start things out. And there goes Chad Boucher, the first to attack in the center. Ryan Hall right in there after him, but it looks like the first to drop a body, and it's going to be Brad McCurley. Yeah, Brad taking the walk for AC Dallas. So the advantage early here goes to Damage.
Yeah, and then Damage also taking the outside over here on the Dorito side. Jacob Edwards making that move to this little Dorito 1, and so now with that position, it's a 3-on-4 right now. Damage definitely has the outside bodies and has the advantage, to see how he can quickly make this move all the way up the Dorito side, because that tower can't stop any of that movement.
So now Jacob Edwards past the 50-yard line. Bodies coming off for AC Dallas. Damage utilizing the advantage they created for themselves, and Jacob's in a real good spot here, looking low. And now just going to tuck in. He's getting a lot of paint. There goes another body. John Jackson coming off for AC Dallas. So Damage rolling those guns nicely, winning some gunfights and taking position.
Yeah, just Tanner left alive. And Darula might have just fallen asleep on him as he started strutting in to try and hit that buzzer. And that's going to do it. 4 bodies left alive. And look at this.
That's a nice point for Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah,
you can see they're feeling it.
You can see Jason Edwards there on your screen, immediately turning around at the conclusion of that point, pointing to his gun. Barrel's just soup. Tim Montresor has his barrel off. So
but that's a good sign for Damage, even if they're coming off with their barrels off, having some, breaking some paint, that they still dominated in that point.
Yeah, I always say that, if we have bad practice paint, or something happens where your paint's not working, but you're still winning at least 50% of the games, that means something's going your way. So you get good paint in your hands, and it's going to be lights out. So it's all about overcoming those bits of adversity. It's going to be frustrating, but you gotta keep focused on what you're doing.
Right, and that's the big mental thing that I know I've heard you say it. We do that clinic in Boston. We do the combine. You got to tell these kids that, hey, you can't let that stuff get you down. Refocus on the positive. Like, this is part of the game.
Right.
So right now, first point between the Ironmen and Impact, and what a difference for the Ironmen here is they make it all the way to the semifinals, and not after not having made it to Sunday period since Virginia Beach in 2015. On the breakout, here comes the move in the center, and Brandon Cornell is going to run through and trade out.
Here comes Zane. And that's a move that actually I was trying to do what Greg just did right there. Is you as soon as that commotion goes down in the center, you get up into the Dorito 3 before Zane has a chance to get up to that wall and lock you off. Now he can still lock down the move from Dorito 3 to Dorito 4, but he's in a much more difficult position, because you can now see he's laying down at the bottom right there, which is something else that he was doing against me. But you want to go off that commotion so you can take as much ground as possible, because now these guys have to really worry about Dorito 3. Bobby comes out to the corner to fill out and help Greg. And
well, I like the repositions from both guys, but like we talked about before, Impact here, who's going to attack that center on the secondaries better, and Impact in position. But here comes the Ironman, and running through and executing Zane, who played very well in the quarterfinals, still untouched. Here comes a huge move from Al Fernandez. He gets a 3-pack run through. He gets, looks like a 4-pack run through for Al Fernandez. What a huge move for him. Comes through the center of the field and just completely untouched the whole way, and a sea of bodies walking off for Impact. And that is the way you start. That's a momentum shifter right there.
Right. And that's a move that we had talked about doing. We were kind of looking into that, except we just never put that second body up there. Because what happens is, and Mouse he didn't really drop the ball, but he needed to realize that Zane was locking this zone down. So he doesn't need to battle heads up. And because that's the only gun that's looking that direction, up that gut.
Clutch move for Al Fernandez here to put the big first point up against Impact in a spectacular way. And now we're in the pits with Impact. Let's listen in.
It's gonna happen, guys. We gotta figure out who's the guy that looks over. Either Mouse or Hey, let's go the other line.
But hey, that's one of those things that, it's one of those moves that will work sometimes, but most of the time it doesn't, because there's someone looking inside. But that's that big payoff, because you have to take that wall down in order to free Greg up to move. And that was what he did. He went in there, did his job so Greg could make that move, and ended up in a 4-pack.
Hey, teamwork, right? And it couldn't have happened in more spectacular fashion. I think that's the best run through we've seen this entire tournament. So now back into this game here. Tampa Bay Damage up by 1 on AC Dallas. Tampa Bay Damage with Chad Bouger at that center 50, and I think he's up there with, it looks like Ryan Hall again. So Ryan Hall, the center specialist for AC Dallas, who's going to be the first to attack. They're on your screen, both looking towards the D side of the field. John Jackson makes a move to the stand-up tower in the center. Damage already has a player in that position.
Both teams pretty much mirrored up here. Danner, though, out in this Dorito side Aztec as you look at Chad Bougier. And he's getting called out right now by Damage. Or no, excuse me. Ryan Hall's being called out by Damage. The Godzilla call, meaning the wall. And there goes Chad, launches and takes out Ryan Hall. And Tim Montresor immediately fills the wall and play towards that Dorito side.
Yeah, good to see. We've been talking about it, man, and that is how you want to play here in the center, but you want to stay alive. Oh, I think he might. No, did he get his gun back in time? He's asking for a check. The ref is calling him out, but off of that, Jacob Edwards is now going to get past the 50-yard line. First went to the 40.
And look at this. Tim's getting a minor penalty now for talking. Give me a break. You know what? I mean, and this is the thing, too. When you're playing that wall and you get in a gunfight, you're going to take spray off the side of the wall onto your hands, and you're going to ask for a check. And the refs immediately didn't. I mean, I don't see anything.
No one ran in there and checked them. They just they saw it. Look, it's a tough job to be these refs. Also, you know, any ref that runs up the center to go check you, they're taking hits all over their body. They could have, you know, in a match that's this important, given a little bit more effort than maybe I saw it out of the corner of my eyes.
So right now, AC Dallas in strong field position here as another body is. Uh-oh, that is not good. That's Jason Edwards? Jason Edwards looks like he's got something wrong with his ankle or knee. It's definitely his right leg, as he has yet to walk off, and big time limping coming off. Couldn't see where that happened, but here comes TJ Danner sprinting through the center of the field with McCurley here on the D side, and it looks like I think Jason's going to have to get helped off here, and that is a huge That's a huge loss. Doesn't get any bigger as far as a loss on the field. Taking Jason Edwards' gun, and he's not looking good, limping off here. He's going to need some help. No, it looks like he's going to try to do it under his own power. So that is a good sign, but no, he refuses to get. This is a tough man, refusing to get helped off, and he's just going to limp off under his own power. But it's not looking good. I don't know if we're going to see Jason Edwards again.
Did he slip coming off the field?
I couldn't see.
Let's see this replay here. That's him right there on your screen.
Oh, right
shot.
there.
Oh, he looks like he rolled his ankle right there. Yeah, he immediately. So as he was trying to dodge that ball, he rolled his ankle, goes to the ground, and crawls off.
Oof.
Yeah, and there it is. Definitely an ankle injury there on his right leg.
And it looks like he's already got some tape on there.
So maybe he already was having some issues with that ankle. Still, though, that again, if he can't get back out there on the field, that is a tough loss. They do have a deep roster, and they got a lot of good players on the team. But it's going to be up to one of their younger guys to get it done.
And the Ironmen shoot Justin Cornell running into that snake insert spot, which is something that we could not do against them. We had multiple guns on him, and we just were not getting that shot on him.
And that is Justin Cornell coming off. Justin Cornell was the hero of their overtime point yesterday, and the reason that they're playing today. So if they hadn't won that point, they were going home. So now a one-body advantage for the Ironmen and a one-point advantage.
So the move here is for Keith DeVitt to put some pressure on who is that, Rainey in that tall center temple?
Yeah, through the window. Now Nick Laval fills all the way from the back center up to the wall for Edmonton Impact. He's immediately going to play towards the snake side. Try to put some pressure on the Ironman.
Yeah, and hopefully catch an Ironman guy kind of sleeping. But once you find out he's in the wall, this is that move, is you get that kill immediately, and you're playing a 4-on-3. Yeah, and those are great odds.
Yeah.
Because the way that Impact is setting up is kind of like what we talked about leading into this, is they're putting one guy on this island. They're putting Dalton or Mouse playing in this little temple on the Dorito side, and just to stay alive. Just don't make any mistakes. We're going to try to come down that snake side.
So both teams, or both players alive, still here for a while in that center 50 wall. Laval looking back, calling, or just actually using his fingers. Can't really yell codes from there, as he knows he has an opponent right on the opposite side. And if you turn your head to call that code cross field, you got to be careful, because that's when your opponent could run around. Like if he came around right now.
Yeah, Keith DeVitt holding strong. His fingers are moving. I don't think he's shooting his gun. Getting that information from Greg Sewers, who's back behind him. And there goes the move.
Takes a bunker out on his way to shoot. Keith DeVitt does trade out, so we'll see who fills up. And then off that looks like Dalton.
Dalton just got shot. Dalton just got shot in the pack.
Did he just dump the pod, though? That he got shot in?
No, he dumped the pod on accident. I don't know, but he just got shot sliding in there.
No
100% he just got shot in the pack.
No refs going in there to check him out. No signal from the refs on the inside, and off that move
Rainey
in the
stands
center.
it,
Yeah,
takes the
Rainey
center.
goes to the wall, and well, Todd might have seen something. He's coming over here talking to Trozen, but Dalton makes a move and Rainey makes a move. Here comes Greg Seavers. He's making his bump into the Dorito 2.
Good fill
So
for Greg.
it is a 4-on-3, one body advantage for the Ironmen as they did shoot some bodies on the break. And here comes the move through the center. Bobby Villas takes out Rainey Stanzak.
And then Greg Sewers gets to the 40-yard line. Dorito. Dalton's still in there, though.
Yeah, Dalton makes a move.
Are there just 2 players left alive for impact right
Yes.
now?
Yes.
It looks like I think it's a 3-on-2.
Oh, but Greg
bad.
gets stitched up by Dalton.
Good move. Good game by Dalton. That was a hesitation move by
Oh, and
Greg.
he shoots Adam Golden cross field.
Dalton's about to win this
So
point here
just
for
Bobby
impact.
Vilas left alive, and Bobby was smashing paint on this Dorito side. So now it's a 2-on-1 in favor of Edmonton Impact. Justin Rabikoff and Dalton Vanderbilt. Bobby shuffling around.
Ironman squandering high body situation.
They lost
here.
Bobby though.
Yeah, I think there's only 1 player left alive for the Ironman right now.
I think it is Bobby.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Bobby.
Bobby.
They don't know where he is though. They lost him just now.
I was like,
Well, if
who
he
lost
can-
2? He's right there.
Well, if he
Yeah,
can get a
I
shot
lose
on
him.
Dalton, but he started shooting Dalton. Now he transitioned, so he might get a shot when Dalton comes over to engage. See if he can win a gunfight here against Dalton.
Well, smartly, Dalton doesn't engage. He's going to let Justin Rabikoff get into the fight.
Yeah, Dalton is just now. Dalton's going to cut to the inside, try to run the highway real quick, and then he comes up
he
and
got
he's
the
able to
shoot.
get.
There we go. Excellent
Great play
use
by
of
Dalton.
excellent use of a second life right there of Dalton getting a 3-pack on that commotion, even 4-pack even, because I think that he might have shot the guy who ran through the center over there as well.
Well, let's check in with Lauren Kelly down on the sidelines.
Thanks. You guys saw Jason Edwards hopping off the field after that last point. You might be able to see him behind me, but he says he's not really sure what happened. It seems like he sprained or twisted his ankle. He's been applying pressure and stretching it, but it sounds like he's still going to go in. He popped some Advil. He put his socks in. He's putting his shoe back on, so he shouldn't be down for too long. Back to you.
Well, again, that's a tough man right there. As we're looking at the pits now, Dave Baines giving Cornell some information, but it would really help their chances if they have that big gun from Jason Edwards out there on the field.
Yeah, and I've had some ankle injuries. I think I have chronic ankle injuries, but man, those are tough. Sprains are almost one of the worst things to come back from, just because they never quite heal properly.
Sometimes it's better to break your ankle
Yes.
than it is to severely sprain it.
Yeah, that's the truth. So, if he didn't feel anything pop, generally you're going to be able to be coming back. It could have just been like one of those little kinks or something.
And some people are like, well, no, come on, man. There's no way a break's better than a sprain. But if you're familiar with ankle injuries, if it breaks, it heals faster. And like you just said, because I know some guys that have had like 2 years of problems with because they had a really bad ankle sprain, and it never really completely got back perfect, and it took them years and like months of staying off of it in order to heal it up.
No, it is. I've heard the same thing, and I've had sprains on both of my ankles, and they're tough. It's really because you think you can come back, and you want to come back. It's just that weight that comes on there.
Yeah,
and it's hard to get surgery.
Yeah, and ankles are really tough, almost even worse than knees sometimes because of the weight you have to put on that ankle. So let's get another look at it. So he comes up, pops over the top,
right on his right ankle when he slides down right there.
He head checks away. He head checks away from that ball. And you see it run it back real quick, and you can see he just had his weight up on it because he came down, so he had all his weight on that right ankle. When he head checked, then it just rolled right there. So, from here, it looked like obviously a pretty major tweak as he was limping off, but hopefully he'll come back. Now back into this match. It is tied up at 1. Lots of time on the clock. Referee running over to check out. AC Dallas in the center, and it's going to be Brad McCurley, and he's coming off.
Early death again from Brad McCurley. That's the second time that he's walked out of that back center pretty much off the break.
Yep.
And then right now is you're going to set the same thing up. If Chad Bougier goes around and bunkers out the wall, then it's a 4-on-3, which is the advantage that you want to have. Because right now it's 5-on-4, and you know that there's pretty much always a guy in the wall. So
I'd say 95% of the time at this point, maybe even more than that. I can't remember a point where no one went to the wall. It hasn't happened today, I don't think.
So Danner getting shot now, so 2 bodies down for AC Dallas. Here comes the move by Jacob Edwards underneath in a Dorito 1. Chad Bougier still up there with Ryan Hall. Jacob Edwards takes a bounce as he makes his way into the Dorito 2. Calling out a kill, John Jackson. Look at this. Ryan Hall retreats into the mini wall.
Oh wow, that was a huge retreat right there for a couple of reasons. One, he could possibly get a kill as Jacob comes through this lane of death, as we call it.
He's going to try it.
Yeah.
Here comes Jacob. Oh, did he get
no,
through?
No, too late. You really, I mean, so it is a lane of death, and these guys, we're pro players out here, but man, that is a tough shot. I'm telling you, unless you have paint in the air or you're just aiming right in the right exact spot, but the way your body is sitting, you're kind of just like hunched over in that little thing, just hoping that guy gets through there.
I think guys are, the timing I'm watching now, and of course, because we're now in the semifinals, but the timing I'm seeing now, as opposed to we saw on Friday, guys are just trying to run right through that.
Yeah.
And guys knew that lane, so they're just pumping paint through that lane, and then even when you make it to the bunker, you still got to be careful over there from that lane as Jacob Edwards comes off.
Yeah,
he's just Chad Bougier on this side.
Jacob head checked back, was not aware that Ryan Hall had filled there and looked right into a paintball.
Yeah. The move is, once you get into that position, is you kind of keep coming around that corner. You keep coming around and you get into their Dorito. That's the move. After this, you don't get too greedy, and that was something that we had to kind of focus on. Is once we got up into these positions, we wanted to filter our body back over to the snake side and kind of push. Kind of exactly what Tim Montressor just did. Get behind your guy on the snake side.
Derula now fills into the diamond. Tim Montressor fills out into the snake insert.
Well, Damage still with this one body advantage, even with the death of Jacob Edwards, and they have position too. And you can see by the way that AC Dallas, the 3 players left alive, just tucked in their spots playing defense right now, because they don't have much ground and down a body.
Yeah, and there's a good shot of Matt Derula playing tall cake in his home plate of the diamond, aka the Wrigley. Go Cubs, go.
Well, we are in Chicago, and you guys are the defending world champs, so.
Come at me, bro.
Go Cubs.
Yes. You got a favorite baseball team, Ryan?
Oh. Baseball. Let's talk about baseball. Trying to talk about baseball? No, I don't have a favorite team.
It sounds so bitter.
Ryan Greenspan, very one-dimensional up here.
Football starts today.
Yes, it does.
That's another thing. I'm actually very glad that everybody's tuned into the webcast, that you're watching this over the football.
Hey, you can have both of them, man.
Yeah, you can have both of them on, I guess. One's on your computer, one's on your TV.
So right now, AC Dallas still holding tough with their 3 bodies left alive. Chad Bougier improves his position there on your screen. Still have a body up in that center.
Yeah,
So, and this is the thing about this setup right now. Now, Damage is up a body. Barring a mistake of any sort, they're favored to win this point. And the problem with this setup, and this is kind of what we came into, is if they get penetration or we get a kill back, let's try to start getting a little bit of offense going, because there's a lot of time that's run off. I think this point's already been over 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes. And what that does is it gets the game in favor of the team that's up a point, or who's going to be up a point, rather. Especially if all these games go long.
No, you're right.
And we're on Sunday and on a relatively slow field, so definitely going to see long points, and that's what we're watching right now. Chad Bougier talking it up, cross field.
And so Chad's reluctant to move across this spot because he knows where this guy is. It's almost a good move is to filter their wall guy back and just go around the corner with someone else, rather than sitting and waiting for the AC Dallas guys to get to.
So have your wall player come and completely commit, come back to help Chad get across.
Yeah, get into this little Dorito and let's put some pressure on their mini wall, and then let's get into that Dorito 3 or Dorito 4 rather, and just really put pressure on that mini wall guy.
The only other move right now that could happen would be Matt Derula would have to put in John Jackson, and Waring's would have to come around the snake side and try and take out Hall.
Yeah, and you can do that actually. The way those pins are lined up on that snake side, if you can put some pressure on the Dorito side little temple, you can actually, it takes one step around that wall on the snake side, and these pins block you out, and you can basically walk right up into that little the little mini wall.
Right.
It's a really good move, but it's a pretty advanced, high-risk move. I wouldn't even call it high risk. I would just call it pretty advanced. I mean, it's something that you really had to have walked a bunch before.
Well, I saw Heat practice against the Russians last weekend do exactly that. Ryan Moorhead was in this. It was this exact same position pretty much. Moorhead did come back, came behind his guy, and then got his man across. Basically doing exactly what you would like them to do right now.
Yeah,
so it can work.
And just for those of you guys who are watching back there, is one of the biggest things that I always say is you run into a problem. Okay, and so you got to find a solution. You guys are constantly problem solving out there, and variables are constantly changing as well. But right now we're like, okay, it's the first team to make a mistake. How do we pressure them to make a mistake? Okay, because we have the body advantage, but we don't want to make a mistake either. Well, let's get power in numbers. What do you need help with? How can I help you?
Chad just dives past that gap of death, and he makes it in clean. And also at this particular time, because you don't have a lot of paint left, so it's not like Ryan Hall can just sit there and just shred paint through that lane.
And Chad had just loaded his last pod before he made that move. But still, going to be tough. He's going to have to stand up, and he would have to gunfight Ryan Hall now as he's wrapping around trying to put pressure on Matt Jackson in that snake
It's
tower.
also interesting, like you said, right? You're problem solving out there, and you're dealing with variables. And one of the variables is normally you say go in real low, but Chad, knowing that the paint's coming in low, he decides to just dive over where the lane should be.
Yeah. And the move, I think, right now, just watching their body positions, is around the diamond side.
Yeah.
There's nothing, I mean, the tall temple on the snake side is the only thing that's really stopping them from making a move, but you can wrap around that diamond. You can actually crawl inside on this wall side of the diamond and get some shots on that little mini wall. But that's the guy that's really slowing things down. It needs to be a trade out. They need to force a trade out with somebody and still have the bodies up.
Well, and that is, I mean, Damage does have one extra body to work with, so.
And I think it's Tim Montressor in that snake insert. You can see Derula, see Waring, see Chad Bougier. Everyone but Tim. Matt Jackson backing way up off the snake tower, trying to get a shot on Chad Bougier. Doesn't get it. He comes back in. Look at this. Chad Bougier makes his move through the gun.
Oh, wow, Chad Bougier makes a big move on
Ryan Hall.
the D side.
So Ryan Hall actually, it is through his gun a little bit, but Ryan Hall, because of the way the pins, it's super small. And as long as you do it quickly, that guy's got a suck.
Well, and they're leaving it up to just Ryan Hall. I mean, yeah, Jackson's gun's that way too, but because no one has that much paint left, that's the only variable he was really having to deal with specifically was Ryan Hall in that laydown.
Yeah. And so what he needs to do now is back up or do something to get that kill on that.
And you can see Ryan Hall now getting antsy because he knows the position that Chad Bougier's in. And there on your screen, that's Ryan Hall on your left. And Matt Derula for Damage in the diamond on your right.
Well, Chad wants to wrap around and try to get a shot on Ryan. Ryan's going to do a tactical retreat, and he gets to the stand-up temple in the center. And then Chad did not know that he was in that spot, but Ryan wasn't able to get a shot on him. Nice job by Chad to stay alive in that.
Wow. Ryan should have stayed in that little mini wall.
But yeah, because Chad didn't even check him off. He just went.
I mean, Chad's out of paint, and he's making something happen. These guys are...
They need to play off Chad right now. He's really pushing the... And then here comes... Now Ryan is going to move up into that, and then he's going to completely commit and see who gets the shot on who. Neither one. Then Chad Bougier does get shot.
Ooh, but Ryan Hall takes one in the back.
Ryan Hall asking for a check. The ref's going to run in and see if that broke. Did it break, though,
yes,
is the question. Sure about that?
Well,
yes, I am positive.
Broke.
I watched it hit him, and then he pointed towards his back. It hit him right in the right shoulder, top of the right shoulder.
The ref just went in there and checked him out, and he's clean.
Waring now backing up out of the wall to try and get wide over here on the Dorito side.
Oh, these guys are picking up paint on the ground right now.
Well, this might be the longest point we've seen in this tournament.
Oh, this is without a doubt the longest point we've seen. And the score is still 1-1, coming up on 3:35 left to go here.
If AC can get into the snake, they'll put some pressure. Actually, if they can get into the snake right now, they'll blow out this Dorito side. Just because this in the?
That's Waring.
That's Waring is in this tall stand-up can.
Yeah, that would force him to have to retreat back here, at least to the Dorito 2, the second big Dorito. And then he's going to do that anyway. He's going to go back to the Dorito 1.
Yeah, if he didn't touch that thing, that would have been a really good move.
Now Waring comes all the way out and dives.
He's got plenty of paint.
D2.
Yeah, he's got paint because he's been posted on that lane for so long.
So it's even up on the body count, 3-on-3. They have the diamond for Tampa Bay Damage.
Ryan
now
Hall.
Yeah.
D1.
Ryan Hall's picking paintballs up off the ground.
So is Matt Jackson.
Matt Jackson.
No, Matt just threw him
Matt
a
Jackson
pod.
just threw him a pod. Threw him a full pod.
That's nice.
Dump out that other stuff.
Okay, shoot those balls out of there.
I mean, that's the one thing you don't want to have happen is your loader jam or some malfunction with equipment because you picked up a stolen paintball. Over time, in the right condition, the wrong conditions, paintballs will swell.
So now reloaded up here with an extra pod that he didn't have. Ryan Hall moves forward again to get into that lay down wall bunker. The mini wall bunker now looking at this gap.
So Damage putting the pressure in with the four bodies early with Chad, and their guys just not playing off of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not working together, right?
Yeah.
I'd expect, let's say, maybe Tim Montressor to work with Matt a little bit to try and get something going there to team up on that gun of Matt Jackson.
What a great job by the guys out there for AC Dallas right
If
now.
Tim gets into Snake 1, he can put pressure on Matt in that tall stand-up temple. And then, who's in the Snake right now for Damage?
Derula.
Derula can just wrap around and kill that mini wall.
Ryan is still picking up paintballs off the ground. and rubbing them on his look, he's gonna pick some up
on his wet jersey.
Yeah, he's gonna he just puts those in. He rubbed the other ones on his pants.
Well, we're now at 1:35, so this.
What time did we start this game?
12 minutes left.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I think this is a 10-minute point. I may be wrong, but you can see here on the far shot right now in the line for Tampa Bay Damage, and with the time ticking off into what it is, I mean, it's just going to get extra conservative because this is going to be the point that determines either who advances or whether or not we're going on to an overtime point.
Yeah, and the one thing either team does not want to have happen now when we hit this minute mark is as soon as that happens and a rush comes is a major penalty. We saw that with Infamous against AC Dallas. Thomas Taylor made a move down the snake side as soon as that minute mark was eclipsed and drew a major penalty to give a swing point to AC Dallas, and then Brad McCurley saved it. So,
well, when we all saw this field layout and saw it played in practice this weekend and then seen some of these slow points throughout the prelims, we were wondering when we were going to get one of these 10-minute points, and here it was in the semifinals. And at this point in time, still 3-on-3. Everyone's out of paint. Well, not everybody, but a lot of guys out there out of paint with only 30 seconds to go. We're probably going to see an overtime point.
For sure. I mean, I don't foresee Warren making a move, and unless Tim Montressor tells Derulo to giddy up and go for it.
What a tough point, man, for AC Dallas. They were in bad spots and down bodies, but they hung in there and controlled those lanes, and Damage just could not find a way to get through that cross. So it's Matt Fuzzy Jackson, Ryan Hall, and Danner.
I mean, no one on AC Dallas is shooting any paint right now. It's just Waring over here, and that's going to do it.
Wow. A 1-1 tie heading into overtime. Oof, I didn't think we'd see that.
I told you I wanted more of a lackluster. That's how it was going to be, man.
Wow.
We're going to OT. Third. Or no,
Ryan Hall's still down on the field. I don't know if he's hurt.
He's probably cramping up.
Yeah, he's cramping up. I mean, being in that position like that, laying a kneeling position.
Hey, Ryan Hall was all over the place, man. Again, AC Dallas hung strong right in there. A nice job by them. You take it to overtime. Let's check in with Lauren.
Hey guys, I was in AC Dallas's pit during that point, and it was extremely tense. Jesse Stevens said it was one of the hardest points he had watched. They were all just holding their breath. When we got down to about 15 seconds left on the clock, Jesse Stevens started shaking his head. They just wanted them to hold it out to go into this overtime. Back to you.
Unbelievable. 1-1 right now in this Ironman Impact match, but a bunch of time left, 11 minutes in this one.
Oh, wow. Justin Cornell coming hard over here on this Dorito side into the Dorito 2, which is a massive position to be in.
This early in the point.
Especially with no body for the Ironman up there at the wall.
Nobody for either team up in the wall right now.
There goes Brandon Cornell, or Rainey Stanzik, excuse me.
So Rainey goes up for impact into the wall. The Ironmen reposition in the center as well, but they do not take as far of a position as Rainey does.
And here goes Rainey laying down again.
So Rainey's done this twice now. He did it in the game in the quarters. He lays down in there. He kind of sets a trap, gets real small, and waits for the guy to come around on the snake side. And Ironman able to get DeVitt up into that center, 50.
I'll tell you what, you do not want to come around that Dorito side with Nick Laval standing there in that tall temple, looking that way.
So Rainey, after sitting down, or laying down, sorry, he decides to stand back up, get on his feet. Keith DeVitt trying to figure out which way to put his gun.
That's not the way. There it is, now go.
He comes through as Rainey tries to get small again, and Keith DeVitt is able to get his man, clear out that wall.
And actually, if you saw what just happened, right when Keith went, so Rainey had stood over the top, signaled that he was there, and Nick Laval got lazy on that shot and switched the other way and let his man get bunkered. But Justin Cornell making a huge move over on this Dorito side.
Off that move, Cornell getting a kill across field, so now just 3 bodies left alive for the Ironman as Nick Laval takes the wall, 4-on-3. Dalton Vanderbilt filling out on this Dorito side behind Cornell, and it looks like Rabikoff makes his way into the snake insert. Laval in a gunfight now with Alan Goulding getting shot. So just 2 bodies left alive now for the Ironman.
Both lined up. Justin Cornell's going to probably come here and drop the hammer right now.
Justin Cornell runs through the inside. Nice lane. Cornell does have to trade his body to do it, but the Ironman lost not only Bobby Villas on that, but they lost the player behind him. It's looking like this is going to be a pretty simple point for Impact as
And the pressure came with a big move on that Dorito side. And that's something that now we threw into our plan yesterday, but because this Dorito corner, Nick, you know this too, like this Dorito corner is really dangerous. And even running to that little temple, as we saw in practice, that guy was getting shot every so often, and we practiced that shot forever. So teams are deep diving into this little Dorito side tower, and no one's really going outside wide, you know?
No, you're absolutely right.
Because it's so dangerous.
Yeah, so let's go down to Lauren Kelly again.
Thanks. I talked to Jason Edwards before that extremely long point. He was hoping to go in for another point to test out his ankle. I asked him how it was. He said, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second. But it looks like he is actually going to sit this overtime point because he doesn't want to risk it. He's also hoping that he can rest it for a little bit, and if they make it to the finals, he'll be able to play then. Back to you.
Well, the Advil that he just ate should be kicking in here in the next half hour, so that's going to help out.
Those things are not instant, by the way. Pop some Advil, I'm good to go. That's not how it works.
Well, so there is gun off.
Yeah, so there's Jason Edwards limping around a little bit and hoping that the 5 guys out there on the field are going to get it done for Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah, he shouldn't. That would be a selfish move for him to jump in there and try to play more points, even if they're tied up.
No, I think he definitely knows better.
What he should do is he should put ice on it and just sit and relax for a minute.
Yeah, instead of keeping the weight on it.
Yeah, instead of keeping moving around. If you wanted to heal at all or even have a better chance of healing, you shouldn't be walking around right now saying, I think I should have tested out in the biggest point of the event.
That's true, and I agree with you. You definitely shouldn't play this point, but there's no healing going on today. I think he just wants to get through the day with as little damage as possible and worry about the healing later on.
Prevention.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know. I guess he knows his own body, so you kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah. So now,
Dr. Ryan says ice.
Yeah.
Elevate nice, baby.
Dr. Greenspan.
Dr. Greenspan. I've just had a lot of injuries, man, and it's not worth it.
Well, it's also a little tough to turn it around because you had a relatively quick point in the Ironman Impact match after the 10-minute-ish point, whatever that was, in this next one. So they're going to have to quickly turn it around and get out here for this next one. It looks like these teams are ready to go here for this next point. And this game is brought to you by the Race Series packs, the strap-free harness, efficient and ultra-light GI Sports. Is it the R Race or just the Race Series? What is that, Nick? You
Race Series.
Empire. Okay. Or GI Sports.
I think that's the Spanish ere.
Oh.
Race.
You got to roll that R.
Yeah, because when you put 2 R's in there, I think it's...
Yeah, you got to...
Yeah.
Roll it for us.
You're a fluent
Race.
Spanish speaker. Race.
When you have 2 R's...
So there's your lineup for AC Dallas.
See Brad McCurley in that back center. He's kind of checking it out, I think, right now. Maybe trying to stay in the shade.
So it looks like
maybe trying to figure out who's shooting him out of the back center.
Well, there's a definite bounce shot. When we played Damage, I got taken out of the back center twice from bounce shots off the snake side tower into my head.
So those both came when he was looking Dorito way when he got shot.
Oh, so he might have got shot from back center to back center through the wall.
Right. So you can't see each other. It might be. I think it's just this little.
Aztec.
Let's see if he does it.
Wrapping, shooting.
So he kind of comes in heads up and then just starts wrapping really quickly.
Huge point right now with overtime, and whoever wins this point will be advancing to the final match. Both teams down a body early as Waring comes through and Ryan Hall comes through. They trade out. 4-on-4 right now. Overtime, better field position though for AC Dallas as they get that body into D1. And then you're looking at the spread for Damage on your screen. No forward progression on this D side of the field. You can see the 4 bodies, 3 of them in those back bunkers, and just Tim Montressor slightly up in that stand-up temple.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob Edwards is their offensive guy on this Dorito side, and he's still in the back center trying to kind of hold down this Dorito side. Now, from playing that back center, there's not a shot over here unless the guy gets into Dorito 3 really quickly, which they're not in. So he needs to get himself up into that Dorito 1 as quickly as possible to help his guys out.
Yeah, the only shot that you have from that back center on this Dorito side right now is on the inside and a blind outside shot on the Aztec that Danner's in. So yeah, he's going to want to take that opportunity to try and fill up and over to the Dorito, which is what Brad McCurley did off the break. He didn't mess around with staying in that back center for AC. He went straight up, and now Chad Bougere has gone up and around to mirror Brad McCurley, and that allows Jacob Edwards to fill out and mirror up Danner. So these teams are now mirrored up across the board. Ooh, looks like something might have hit Jacob. He kind of checked himself, but he looks to be clean right now. That's him, number 31 on your screen. Matt Derulis over in the Snake Tower. In the center tower, you have Tim Montressor. And in this Dorito 1, Chad Bougere. On the flip side of things, on AC Dallas's lineup right there, you've got Brad McCurley in the center Dorito. Behind him is TJ Danner. Matt Jackson in the tall Snake Tower. And then the inset tower is his brother John Jackson. So 4-on-4. And this, with the way these two teams have played, we might be going to one-on-ones, and that would be fun.
I would love to see me some one-on-ones.
So have any one-on-ones gone on since we did ours against Infamous?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not like that was.
No.
I've watched probably more paintball than anybody at this point in time. And that was the best paintball game I've ever seen.
Oh,
It
look
was
at this.
a
Chad Boucher
spectacular
getting
game.
shot heads up. So now 4-on-3, one body advantage for AC Dallas as we eclipse the 3-minute mark here.
So we'll see. I mean, the 3 minutes is a lot of time to work with, and AC already in pretty decent field position here. So Damage trying to tighten things up. And here comes Jacob. If he can get out wide, that's going to help things, but he's wilding out slightly.
Yeah, he's wilding out. You need to chill out when you're in that thing. If you're the only guy on this island, you do not need to be putting guys in.
Down a body?
Yeah, down a body.
If Jacob dies, that's it, probably.
Game over.
Yeah.
100%. There's no doubt about it. What they need to do at this point is hope that you wait a little bit of time off. You hope that the AC Dallas guys make mistakes, which they're not making a lot of moves. I've noticed this in their other games in the prelims. They don't like to make a lot of moves.
Yeah, AC's been the most conservative. Of every pro team out here, the most conservative team.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's working for them. So they're here in the semis, and it's tied, and we're in overtime, and they have a one-body advantage. So I don't want to knock them too hard, but man, yeah, a very conservative for the most part. But one of the reasons that AC Dallas is in this position, and they're here in the semis, is that when
Tim
they need...
Montrester loses a gunfight, he gets taken out.
And that might be the end of it right there. There are still 2 minutes, so 2 players left alive for Damage. Someone's going to need to get a kill here because there are 4 bodies. AC Dallas. My point was, AC Dallas, when they need to hit the gas pedal, they're able to do it, and they've been able to win those clutch points. And then there goes another death, and that should put the nail in the coffin here for Damage's chance at this event. And we are going to see AC Dallas get into the finals for the first time. 2017, we are going to see a new team in the final match. It's going to be AC Dallas. So the conservative play paying dividends for AC Dallas. Great gunfighting ability for them. And like I said, I don't want to knock conservative play too much because when they need to go fast and they need to score a quick point or turn around a low body situation with some aggression, they've been able to do that.
I say, hey, Brad McCurley, let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah, Brad McCurley's had a couple real big ones.
You can see the reaction there in the pit. Jesse Stevens and Ryan Hall
hugs all
celebrating
all
as
around.
they should, yeah. But hey, we're not done.
No, we are not
We
done.
still got like 8 minutes left in this next matchup. Stick around, folks.
And this next matchup is a lot closer than I think what the fans predicted, and I mean maybe even some of us. But the Ironmen are coming to play on Sunday.
Yeah, and also again, our hearts go out to, and our good thoughts go out to everyone in the camp for Tampa Bay Damage. As the hurricane is bearing down on Tampa today. So we're happy that they even made it to this tournament, to be honest, as some of their guys weren't able to get it. And also, go to Facebook, Paintball Gives Back. Can't forget about Hurricane Harvey and the victims in Houston. We're going to be putting into a raffle with jerseys and guns, the polo shirt that Ryan's wearing right now. So, and 100% of that money goes directly to paintball people in Houston who have lost everything. So now Ironmen need a point, and they are down a body.
Each team lost a body. They Impact lost Justin Cornell out of the back.
Minor penalty on the Ironmen.
Worst case scenario for a penalty for the Ironmen. This point is most likely going to go to Impact.
And Greg Sewers was about to come down this side. So it's a 3-on-1 right now. Yeah, that penalty was...
Who was that on?
It looked like it was on the...
Al Fernandez.
It was
or
the guy
Bobby?
who was in no, it was on the insert snake player.
I think that was Fernandez then. It was either Bobby or Fernandez.
Yeah, whoever was that insert snake player got that penalty.
Well, here comes a desperation retreat here from Greg Sewers, trying to play a bunch of bunkers and give it a couple different looks.
Yeah, but this is how you're going to catch them guys.
Right, and the one thing, though, that has happened is Dalton Vanderbilt filled out here to the Dorito corner and started making some calls to his team saying just to chill, because Impact does have the lead right now, so they can just sit tight and not do anything. And eventually Greg Sewers...
That would be the smart play right now.
Right, eventually Greg Sewers is going to make a move and run into a gun.
You should get this point, take as much time off the clock as possible.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. There you go.
Greg's having some loader issues right now, some equipment issues rather.
So now Edmonton Impact, who's going to have a 2-minute break in between points here, is going to go up 3-1 over the Ironmen.
Oh, and we're in the pits right now. Let's listen in real quick here with the Ironmen down by 2.
Looks like Mike Paxton's he's wearing shades. I think he might be done.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mike yet today because it's either been Keith or Scotty Camp going up into that center. It looks like Lauren has an interview with AC Dallas, the winners, heading into the final match this afternoon. Lauren.
Hey guys, I'm here with Ryan Hall. Congratulations. I was standing on the sidelines with you, just watching you during that overtime point. And as soon as Jacob Edwards was shot, you had to like walk away to hold in the scream to not cheer.
Yeah.
But how was watching first that point to go into overtime and then the overtime point? Like, tell me the emotions running through your body.
The point going in at overtime, I was just hoping I could get a straight ball out, and I started shooting the last of my paint at the very end, and there was nothing straight. So if they would have ran, it would have been a bad story. So it worked out well. But watching the overtime point, I traded out real early. So watching from the sidelines is always it was way more nerve-wracking than on the field.
Yeah, you and Jesse were just like pacing back and forth. I could just feel the energy. But we were talking a little bit about, it looked like it could have a chance to go to one-on-ones. How confident are you guys in your one-on-ones? If you guys are the overtime, like you just keep going into overtimes, what if it happens in finals and you get one-on-ones? How confident are you?
100%. I think Fuzz is the straightest shooting person in the league, and TJ can hide the best. So, full confidence.
Well, congratulations, AC Dallas, moving on to the finals. Deserves a high five.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, it helps to have the straightest shooter and the best hider. Ryan, you're always preaching that hiding gospel, right?
I'm kinda. It's just playing. It's playing what you're given. You know?
We're joking around,
take what you're given. Yeah.
But you got to know when you need to do certain things, right?
Exactly. I'll definitely say, hey, play smart. I think that's and it's obviously very ambiguous, but like, move when you take what you're given, right? And
Paintball, and with the game that you're playing offense and defense, sometimes within a split-second difference, you really gotta. And that again, that's why AC Dallas was so solid out here this weekend and moving on to the finals. But back into this Impact Ironman matchup in the semifinals with a little under 7 minutes to go, and Impact with a 2-point lead. Both teams with 5 strong.
Yeah, and Ironman the only ones up in the center right now, so the Impact guys really trying to slow this game down. Maybe they're trying to play a little bit like the AC Dallas guys just were, but...
Well, they've done this a few times where Nick Laval stays in the back center and Rainey Standick goes ahead to that center tower and slow plays it, and eventually will walk up there. Now playing over the window, he gets the call. That Keithevitz up there makes the move. Greg Sewers picks him up, though. So each team now down a body, but Greg Sewers able to get in that Dorito too early, and here we go. Secondary move being made into the wall by the Ironman, Nick Laval.
But he's looking through that lane of death. And if anybody's going to shoot somebody, it's Nick Laval doing that move. What the Ironmen needed, they need Bobby to get off of that gap over on that Dorito side. Right now, he's sitting back in that little cut, trying to catch that snake guy.
Yeah, and he missed him.
Yeah.
As Impact is now in the Snake 1, the mini center wall, the Snake Tower, and the...
So Greg gets across.
So right now, look, Impact have 3 bodies on the Snake side. 2 of them are looking Dorito way, but they're all playing this direction. Bobby needs to get up here with Greg.
Ooh, Dalton comes up underneath the gun of the wall player for the Ironman.
Who's that in the wall for the Ironman right now?
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Villas.
That's Bobby back there behind.
No, it's Al Fernandez again.
Al Fernandez, look at this. Greg Sewers makes a bump. Wilding out over here, trying to get a shot, and Dalton Vanderbilt right in front of him.
I mean, he's engaging right now real strong, and here comes Al Fernandez trying another run through, and he's going to come through. He's going to get Nick Laval. We'll see if Dalton can stay alive with Greg Sewers trying to look at him. Dalton.
Don't do it. That was a very risky move. Now, Bobby's still in this corner right here on the Dorito side. He needs to be up in these guys' face, putting pressure on that Snake player.
Greg fully commits, and he looks like he's going to not get a shot on Dalton. That might have played the difference right there, because
major penalty thrown on Greg Sewers.
Worst case scenario right here for the Ironman in this point.
Yeah, he took too many steps.
Hey, from a dude back here, from this fucking guy.
Dodd kind of has a point there. There were plenty of refs on the
who got the penalty there?
Greg got the penalty for going out. Now, I saw JC in the Snake 1 shooting across, so he definitely was shooting at him.
Yeah, but not before he ran.
And because if Greg didn't shoot Dalton, that should not have been a major.
Right.
It wasn't game changing.
Exactly.
If anything, it would be a minor, but unfortunately, they don't like throwing.
Well, no,
I don't want to get me into this
it's
conversation.
not a game change. So the way that the rule is, at least as far as I interpret it and what I've been told, is it's if you're going forward and making a what quote paintball move. So it's not you're changing the game, yes or no. It's you have a hit on you, and are you making a paintball move?
Right.
Minor would be I just got shot. I'm sitting in my bunker.
I'm sitting in my bunker.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still playing.
Yeah, still playing. You know that's the question. So that's the difference.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. I mean, it looked to me that he got shot kind of just before he got to the Dorito 2. But it's hard to see. Now, there were refs on the inside, so yeah, it was a legitimate major.
yeah.
We'll check the replay because it looks like the camera's got some good stuff on here.
Yeah, so if we can see this replay again. So as you're watching the action, there's Greg Sewers looking at it from the Ironman side of the field, and Greg launches. See where
so
he
it would
gets
be
shot.
JC shooting at him from the inside.
There's the hit right there on his pack.
His pack.
And he continues to go through, or is it on his side?
It looks like it was on the top of his pod,
top
kind of
of his-
sprayed in.
yeah,
But then
so
the rest of the hits come right here.
So he's still going. He's got a hit
Right
on
there.
him, and then he still's going. Then he stops when he starts to get.
Yeah, that's when all the hits. So I didn't see that one in his pack.
Right, but see the ref's head? That's the ref who calls the major.
The guy who's looking to the top left right here.
Probably looking at Bobby.
Yeah, he's looking at Bobby. He's not paying attention really what's going on. But what he might have seen.
I don't know what he saw because by the time he turns his head, the hit's already there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the hit's on him.
Watch.
What he saw was Greg running down the field, the hit on him. That's what he saw.
It was right in his pack right there, and that's what JC was shooting at. So it was in the top of his pack. It was tough. It's tough. But the ref that called it was the guy who just kind of looked at the very end, that's what kind of was the suspect about it. That's what Todd was having an issue with, is the guy wasn't even looking at him and just threw a red flag.
So here we go.
Ironman down right now.
Well, the Ironman
back to get the rope.
Hey, the Ironman scored 2 25-second points early in the prelims in order to tie it up. Now they're going to need 3 of them.
Oh, blew that bunker out. Oh, but two bodies came out.
Two bodies
now Greg
for the
has
Ironman.
So now Greg has the move. He can come all the way down this side.
Let's see if they get a gun up on Greg. They get 2 guns up on Greg, actually. Now just one. It is Justin Rabikoff trying to contain Greg Sewers over
Justin
here.
Rabikoff cannot see Greg Sewers make this next move into the next Dorito.
Not from the temple.
No, and right now, because of the way that Keith DeVip just bowling balled into that mini race, he's not going to be able to lock that thing down either.
Man, it's a good thing no impact player was in there when Keith hit it.
Yeah, I know, right?
That'd be
used to call that the whip bomb. You have a guy on the other side of you, just jam into it as hard as you can, knock that guy's gun out of his hand.
So right now, time is a factor. His impact is up 4-1 with 3-point lead over the Ironman. The Ironman going to have to get going here. It is a 3-on-3. It's 2 bodies for impact, die on the break, and the Ironman losing Keith DeVitt in the run through, and I think Alan Golding, who tried to take the diamond on the break.
Oh, so Ironman are down 2 bodies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, the move is, it's obviously Greg's ball because he's the one doing the heavy lifting over here. But who's behind?
Al.
Who's that? Okay, so Alan?
Al Fernandez.
Al Fernandez right now. If he wraps around, he can put Justin Rabikoff in. If you wrap around the Dorito 1, you can put that center tower in, and Greg can come down here and keep making moves. So right here, you get dominance on the tape, and if he just wraps.
And, playing smartly, Justin Rabikoff, though, dropping low in that tower to avoid.
But regardless, he still can't stop. That center tower cannot stop the move from Dorito 3 to Dorito 4.
No, I'm with you. Just waiting for it to happen as Greg Sewers is going to back up and get ready to launch here.
Yeah, he wants to take off from this, and he gets across the lane.
It is actually smart of Greg because he didn't know that mini race, that little one over there, the bunker.
There goes the body. Zach Akamek comes off from Edmonton Impact, now past the 50-yard line with Greg Sewers as we're following him up, and here comes right behind him Al Fernandez. And the Ironman with just 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. They need 3 points just to tie. They might get this one here. We'll see. They have a 1-body advantage.
Justin Rabikoff trying to get as tight as he possibly can in that tower.
Where's the 3rd body for the Ironman?
He's over on the snake side somewhere.
Yeah, well, the both guns.
He's in the snake insert temple. Yeah,
Snake
he needs
one now. Bobby
he needs
Villa's
to get down
one.
the field.
Well, for a good 40 seconds or 30 seconds, both of the last 2 guys left alive for Impact were looking at Greg
They're both
Sewers
looking this way now. No one's
for the
looking.
majority of time. And there goes Rabikoff. So it's just Goldman over here, and he's going to try to come up and get in the smallest Dorito bunker over on this side. Sewers had to be careful not to get shot by Bobby Crossfield, and now I don't know why he's got to sprint in there and serve the time. Now they just need 2 with 1:45. That's definitely possible.
Yeah, so I mean, Alex Goldman kind of trying to make something happen there at the end. Didn't need to, but if you sneak in, so that's the great thing about that little Dorito that he went to is a lot of times because the corners can't quite see you. So watch,
and I like that move though, but you know what I'd rather have him do? Just hide in that back, get run down, and take way more time off the clock.
So that's the smart thing to do right there. However, if maybe he's got to bulk down a little bit. If he was able to make a move into that little Dorito and Greg didn't see him. What happens is because of the way these things are staggered, Maddie.
Yeah.
If you're posted on that tape on the Dorito corner, and someone sneaks into that Dorito 1, the little Dorito 2, you could do that, and you could come out on the tape, and you'd have both of those guys.
I like the move.
Yeah.
But not when you have a 3-point lead with under 2 minutes to go.
I'm just trying to give you some insight into why Mouse may have done that.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
I like
burn the clock off. That's the absolute.
Yeah. Oh,
necessity.
I know that move exists. I watched an entire 2-day practice session and was called every second of every game.
I just was wondering if you'd even. I was just wondering if you've seen any games out here. I don't know.
Well, let's listen into the pits right now with the Ironmen. Just a couple. A few.
This is the money. You have the money to go like this, right? We're looking at the money. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, we're looking at the dog. The dog, right? We're on this side. I bounce right on this little corner. Point, the little corner. Bob, you got it. Gotta be mindful of the clock. Everybody good?
So crucial moments here for the Ironmen, down by 2, about 1 minute and 48 seconds left on this clock, and we watched them, in case you're just joining us, in their first game in the prelims, which is the reason they're here playing on Sunday, was they were down by 2 to the Outlaws with less than 1 minute to go. I think they had about 49 seconds left, and came out and scored 2 points to take it to overtime, and then won in overtime to win their first match. So they're trying to summon some of that again here. Looks like a timeout has been called. Impact had put their bodies out. Ironman smartly calling a timeout to make sure that they can get this play set. AC Dallas already with a victory in this semifinal set against Tampa Bay Damage. So let's check with Lauren. She's down with an update for us.
Thanks. Bobby Aviles came off the field after that point, apologizing to Alan Golding because he shot him. That was where that kill came from for Ironmen, but they took this time out to try to figure out how they can get a really quick point here since they are down 2 points and they only have 1 minute and 45 on the clock.
Well, at least they won. hey, my bad. I shot you. Thank God we won that point.
But what would have that point look like as far as the time left on the clock if he hadn't have shot him?
Right. Or even if Bobby had made that move a little sooner into that side. Look, the time is not, the clock is not on their in their favor right now. It's not on their side. So look for a big move right now. Keep the Vits back on the field. Bobby Aviles, of course. Greg Sewers is obviously playing. Can't see who those other 2 guys are. Looks like Golding.
Yeah, it's Golding.
Yeah.
So it's like a hybrid line for
Impact's going to go to that snake insert temple. Oh no, they go to the little wall. So they had 3 guys.
So one body down for Ironman as Keith Vitt makes that run through. No one's up there.
Well, yeah, and that was that big move. But the problem is they didn't take any ground off of that. And here comes the move being made to the small wall.
And well played by JC, Justin Cornell.
Twice now.
Yeah. Going in there, looking across the field, feeling that the fact that someone just bumped into the back of his bunker and trusting in his teammates that they had his back. Most players, what they do is they immediately react by coming over the top and trying to immediately trade out with the guy on the other side of him.
Well, Greg gets out here to D2, Ryan.
Yeah. So that move is there because right now it's just the tower. So JC can't see the move until he goes from Dorito 3 to Dorito 4. And I don't know if you saw kind of like I did exactly what Greg is doing right now.
Yep.
And I did this exact same move just to locate where that guy was. Except I didn't make it forward anymore.
Well, Greg is definitely now at the 40 wrapping around trying to get a shot. The problem for the Ironman is there are still 5 bodies on the field, and there goes Greg Sewers and another body coming off on the snake side, and with it, the hopes of the Ironman here in this event, because it's going to take a miracle for Al Fernandez.
Who just got shot.
That's going to do it. There's only 1 body now is left alive for the Ironman. Maybe no bodies left alive. Trying to find the last body.
So you would normally see
taken out, so that's going to do it.
Yeah, you normally see a concession in this particular time, but I think they're probably just going to run it off because that's about it. Or maybe they are trying to concede.
No, he's just saying, let it go.
Oh, let it go. Yeah. So wow, nice job by Edmonton Impact as they make it into their third finals out of 4 events. They did not make it into the finals at the last event, as was the Russians and Tampa Bay Damage. Edmonton Impact still, though, yet with a victory, but this really helps their cause for overall series title, regardless of what happens against AC Dallas. But it will be Edmonton Impact taking on AC Dallas in that final match. And Nick, these two teams have definitely seen a lot of each other the past couple years.
Yeah, and it's
you with the breakdown. Remember, we talked about this yesterday.
Well, they played each other. They played each other earlier in the event, so that would be their 8th matchup. This will be their 9th matchup in 2.5 years
from this season.
So.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to jump right into a little short lunch break. It's only be about 10 minutes, though, as we're going to get into the divisional final matchups. A ton of divisional finals. We got D5 through semi-pro, 5-man and X-Ball here coming at you. Detroit Action making it in, Twin City Tempest in D5, Hostile Ground, Project Man Black, Outbreak, and the Sauce Boys. So stick with us here as more action coming at you. 2017 NXL Chicago Open. I'm Matty Marshall, Ryan Greenspan, Nick Sloviak. You can see there the schedule on your screen, and big congratulations to Edmonton Impact and AC Dallas making it into the final match. That will be the last game of the day, and we will see you guys shortly.